Stop looking at the mirror for a second and look at the person living inside of it. Are you exhausted? Not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep can fix, but the kind of soul weariness that comes from carrying around 1,000 versions of yourself that were never meant to exist. You are holding onto a version of the past that is dead, hoping it will somehow breathe again. You are waiting for people who hurt you to suddenly become the heroes of your story. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop being a prisoner of a history you cannot change. Today, we are going to burn the bridges to your old limitations. Today, we rebuild. We live in a world that is obsessed with the container. We are taught from the moment we can speak that our value is tied to what we can show. We look at the car in the driveway, the brand on the shirt, the digital validation of a like or a follow, and we think, if I just get enough of that, I'll finally feel like I'm enough. But have you noticed? The container is never full. You get the promotion, and the hunger stays. You get the house, and the emptiness follows you through the front door. Why? Because you are trying to fill an internal void with external things. True self-value is independent of your circumstances. If you lost the money tomorrow, would you still be a person of character? If you lost the looks, would you still have a soul worth knowing? If you can't answer yes with conviction, then you haven't been building a life, you've been building a facade. Most people are running around empty because they have outsourced their self-worth to a world that doesn't even know their name. They are waiting for a stranger's permission to feel important. You have to reach a point where you say, I love me, regardless of whether you love me. I see my value, even if you are blind to it. This isn't arrogance. It's survival. If your value is based on someone else's opinion, you are a slave to their mood. But when you anchor your value in your own growth, your own resilience, and your own heart, you become unshakable. Let's talk about the heavy lifting. Let's talk about the people who did you wrong. The parents who didn't show up, the partner who walked away, the friend who whispered behind your back. You're still carrying them, aren't you? You wake up in the morning, and before you even swing your feet off the bed, you're rehearsing the argument you had 3 years ago. You're wondering why they did it. You're wishing they would apologize. You're hoping that somehow, if you've heard enough, the past will retroactively change. Forgiveness is not an endorsement of their behavior. Read that again. Forgiveness does not mean what they did was okay. It does not mean you have to invite them to dinner. It does not mean you are weak. In fact, it is the ultimate act of power. Forgiveness is simply the realization that the past is never going to be any different than it was. It is the giving up of hope for a better yesterday. When you hold a grudge, you aren't hurting the person who betrayed you. They're probably outliving their life. You are the one drinking the poison and waiting for them to die. You are the one keeping yourself in a cage, and you're holding the key in your own hand. Acceptance is the bridge to freedom. Accept that it happened. Accept that it was painful. Accept that it was unfair. And then, ask yourself the most important question of your life. Now what? Are you going to let that moment be the period at the end of your sentence? Or is it just a comma? Are you going to be a victim of your history, or the architect of your future? You cannot move forward if your eyes are constantly fixed on the rearview mirror. You will crash, break the chain. Release the ghost. Let it go so you can finally grow. I know it feels like the storm is permanent. I know it feels like this season of your life has become your entire climate. But look at the world around you. Everything is a cycle. The tide goes out, but it always comes back. The sun sets, but it never fails to rise. The winter strips the trees bare, but spring is already working underneath the soil. Your pain is not a permanent residence. It is a transit station. Whatever experience you are having right now, the heartbreak, the debt, the loneliness, it has not come to stay. It has come to pass. The biggest challenge you will face is maintaining your perspective when you are in the thick of the woods. When you're surrounded by trees, it's hard to remember that the forest has an edge. But you have to tell yourself, this is just a part of the thing we call life. Don't let a bad day convince you that you have a bad life. Don't let a bad chapter convince you that the story is over. Maintain your perspective. Every trial is a lesson in disguise, and every setback is a setup for a comeback, provided you don't quit while you're in the middle of the tunnel. Keep walking. The only way out is through. If you want to move into your personal greatness, you have to be willing to be brutally honest with yourself. You are the CEO of your own life, and it's time to do an audit. Take a piece of paper. On one side, write down your assets. What are your strengths? Are you resilient? Are you kind? Do you have a vision? Are you a hard worker? These are your tools. This is your foundation. On the other side, write down your liabilities. This is the hard part. What are the parts of your personality that are holding you back? Is it your temper? Is it your tendency to procrastinate? Is it your need for people-pleasing? Is it your fear of being seen? We all have blind spots. We all have bugs in our software, but you cannot fix what you refuse to acknowledge. You have to be willing to look at your own character and say, this part of me is a liability to the person I want to become. If you want to be a leader, you have to kill the part of you that is afraid of responsibility. If you want to be healthy, you have to kill the part of you that finds comfort in self-destruction. This is the process of reinvention. You are not a finished product, you are a work in progress. You are the sculptor and the marble at the same time. It's going to hurt to chip away the pieces that don't belong, but it's the only way to reveal the masterpiece inside. You cannot do this alone. If you only surround yourself with people who tell you what you want to hear, you will never grow beyond where you are right now. We all love yes men. We love the friends who tell us we're perfect and that everyone else is the problem. It feels good to the ego, but it is poison for the soul. You need a trusted critic. You need that one person who loves you enough to tell you the truth, even when the truth is ugly. You need the friend who will sit you down and say, you're acting out of ego right now, or you're making excuses again. It's going to sting. It's going to make you want to defend yourself. It might even make you angry. But listen to me. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. If someone cares about you enough to risk your friendship by telling you a hard truth, that is the most valuable person in your life. Don't take it personally. Take it professionally. Use that information to bridge the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Your blind spots are called blind spots for a reason. You can't see them. You need someone else's eyes to help you navigate. Embrace the hot seat. It's where the growth happens. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And most of the time, that means going against the tide. The tide is the average. The tide is the status quo. The tide is the group of people you've been hanging out with who are comfortable being miserable. If you start changing, they are going to try to pull you back. Not because they hate you, but because your growth shines a light on their stagnation. You have to harness your will. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to be the weird one, the obsessed one, the one who doesn't go out every Friday night because they're working on their dream. Reinventing your life is a lonely business at first. You might lose some friends. You might lose some comfort. But what you gain is yourself. You gain a sense of purpose that no one can take away from you. You gain a level of self-respect that isn't dependent on a paycheck or a title. Why is this so hard? Why does it feel like a constant battle? Because you are being forged. Think about a piece of steel. To become a blade, it has to go through the fire. It has to be beaten on an anvil. It has to be plunged into cold water. If the steel could feel, it would think the blacksmith hated it. It would cry out, "Why are you hurting me? Why can't you just leave me as a block of iron?" But the blacksmith doesn't hate the steel. He has a vision for it. He knows that the fire and the hammer are the only ways to give it an edge. You are in the fire right now. Life is the hammer. The challenges you are facing aren't there to break you. They are there to shape you. They are there to burn off the impurities of doubt, fear, and insecurity. Every time you forgive someone who didn't apologize, you're getting stronger. Every time you choose to love yourself when you feel unlovable, you're getting sharper. Every time you take responsibility for your life instead of blaming your past, you are moving closer to your greatness. Everything has led you to this point. Every tear, every failure, every sleepless night, it wasn't wasted, it was tuition. You have paid the price for your wisdom. Now, it's time to use it. As we finish this, I want you to do something. I want you to write a description of the kind of person you want to be. Not the person you think you should be, but the person you desire to be in your deepest heart. Are they courageous? Are they peaceful? Are they a builder? Are they a healer? Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just define the destination, and then, I want you to make a choice. Right here, right now. Decide that the past no longer has a vote in your future. Decide that you are worth the effort it takes to change. Decide that you are done being a passenger in your own life. Harness your will. Let go of the grudges. Forgive yourself for not knowing then what you know now. You are here. You have a purpose. And your greatest days are not behind you, they are waiting for you to have the courage to claim them. Go against the tide. Be the architect. Build the life you are meant to live. The world is waiting for the real you to show up. Don't keep it waiting any longer.